Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. My name is Kyle. Tonight in this video, first of all, it's March 29th. I record this about 7 o'clock Central Time here. We're going to be doing a first round mock draft, all 32 picks. We're going to be using here, I have on the screen here, we're using NFL Mock Draft Simulator by Mock Draft Database. I put the link in the description below. And actually, I really like this website. We'll kind of show you guys more as we go along, but they do have a really nice list of consensus rankings that we'll get into. And what's nice is if you go to, let's actually go to their main website, the mock draft database website. Let me actually just zoom out a tad. You can click on their mock draft simulator here. You can see the consensus big boards here, which we'll kind of go through and make sure everything's going on and making sense. But I just want to do a disclaimer. I'm mainly in tune with the quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, and tight ends, all the fantasy positions. So this is just a fun draft. This is not a serious one. I don't know everything. I am just a guy here having fun, trying to do a mock draft. So if it's entertaining, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you're new. We're going to be doing a lot of content throughout the rest of the season. And let's get into the mock draft. I'm going to go ahead and select. I want to select all the teams because I'm using all of them. I'm going to hit 2022. We're going to go to just one round, and we'll just kind of hit normal, realistic. That's fine. And we'll just call this one 1.0. And let's hit start the draft. And what's cool is now I can kind of show you guys, like if we want to, I think we can click into some things here, and I guess it just says draft, but that's why I pulled up the big board here. So the big board is nice, though. It says this consensus big board of each player's overall rankings for the 2022 NFL Draft was compiled using 43 big boards, 360 first-round mock drafts, and 414 team-based mock drafts. So you kind of get like an aggregate, an average ranking here. So Aiden Hutchinson has been the number one guy here for a while now. And you can kind of see there's a chart on, how far he's been ranked as the number one guy. And you can see all the mock drafts that have been coming out, and they publish who did the mock draft. So CBS, a couple other big, Bucky Brooks, NFL.com, Pro Football Network, a lot of big sites, even NBC down here. They date it, they stamp it as to what pick. So it looks like Aiden Hutchinson, the consensus number one pick here. I'm not going to, hesitate too much. I think we're going to go with Hutchinson. And just looking at the Jags depth chart, like the offense is going to be fun. Trevor Lawrence, we'll see about James Robinson, Travis Etienne coming back. But Christian Kirk, Marvin Jones, Zay Jones spent a lot of money free agency. We'll see what happens with Chenault. Spent some money on Evan Ingram. Offensive line got worked on a little bit, but man, that defense, we got to fix this defense here in Jacksonville. So Malcolm Brown and Dwayne Smoot, we're going to upgrade you guys with Aiden Hutchinson. So let's go ahead and run Hutchinson into the spot here. And now we're up with the Detroit Lions. And I did want to kind of pull up, I have another thing pulled up here. Congrats to Detroit. They got the 2022 Hard Knocks, and they're also going to get the 2024 real draft in their city. So good week for a Detroit Lions fan. And I just kind of pulled up a CBS team needs by position here. So I guess real quick, the Jaguars needed a tackle, center, linebacker, defensive tackle, tight end. We gave them defensive end. That's fine. But the Lions, what do they need? Wide receiver, corner, guard, linebacker, defensive tackle. They did acquire DJ Chark, and they lost Trey Flowers. Let's actually go ahead and see who has been mocked to the Lions here. We're seeing Evan Neal has been the consensus number 2 guy here. Trayvon Walker, one of the best edge, that kind of have him projected here at number 2. So we could see defense go high. I have seen the safety from Notre Dame kind of come out of nowhere. And what it's looking like here is nobody's really mocking the best offensive tackle here to Evan Neal to the Detroit Lions. So let's kind of go find another guy real quick. The offensive tackle from NC State, you see a Lion here, still not really getting too much interest. So I think we're going to skip that. I don't know. It makes sense to give them a tackle here, but it looks like they are, relatively okay, and it's not in one of their team needs. So let's see if we can find them. Kayvon Thibodeau, he's got it listed as a none projection. I'm not sure what's up with that. And he's kind of all across the board. So I was kind of confused by that. You do have a couple Lions here, 1, 2, 3, 4. A lot of defensive. A lot of people thinking the Lions might like Kayvon Thibodeau. So that's something to keep an eye on. Let's see if we can find. So technically edge, and that's why you see Trayvon Walker here. All of a sudden, look at all that. You got 3 Lions here. The Huddle, CBS, NFL.com. You got Sports Illustrated. I like John Shipley's work. Shout out John Shipley. Sharp Football Analysis. A lot of people here taking Trayvon Walker to the Detroit Lions. I'm going to do it. Let's just get it out of the way. He's the 7th ranked prospect, but we'll go ahead and put him here as the first edge player off the board, Georgia, Trayvon Walker. And let's move it on to the Houston Texans. Texans, basically, they need everything. It says QB, tight end, guard, corner, safety. To me, like they lost Justin Reed, so safety, and they lost AJ Moore. They've also lost a couple other guys here, not really important. But to me, this wouldn't be crazy to see them draft the first safety off the board, one of the highest safeties of all time. And you can kind of see here, actually, this website, Consensus Big Board, is giving Evan Neal to the Houston Texans. And again, if we click into Evan Neal, we see him. CBS has him there. It's kind of looking like Evan Neal's falling a little bit, though. You see Sharp, full press coverage. A couple teams, even SI, is giving it to Houston here. So I'm interested in Evan Neal here, offensive tackle. But otherwise, as far as the big board, you have two tackles to kind of choose from. Kyle Hamilton, man. Kyle Hamilton, probably one of the best safeties to come out in the last while here. And you do see the Texans have safety listed as a need. I just want to kind of look at this depth chart real quick here and see if we can make sense of this for the Texans. Does it make sense for them to take a safety at number 3? And again, as I do this, I'm not going to do trades in this. I just kind of want to straight up mock it and see what team needs are kind of piling up to be. But let's see here. Eric Murray, Terrence Brooks. Not much success here in the safety. Really, this whole defense, I don't know if I see a starter worth keeping around. So maybe we snag the safety here at number 3. You got Laramie Tunsil. Don't know much about Charlie Heck. So if it makes sense for them to take a right tackle, I get it. But I think I'm gonna have some fun. I'm gonna take again. I just want to double check here, see where my guy Kyle Hamilton has been projected. They've been projecting him to the Jets. I actually don't see. I mean, you see one Texan here, the Pro Football Network. I don't see a lot of other Atlanta Falcons, Pro Football Focus. So I think there's a strong chance here. It could be Kyle Hamilton, and if not, he's probably going to the Jets. So we'll go ahead and put Kyle Hamilton, the top safety, to the Houston Texans, and now we're up to the Jets. So let's see what the Jets are doing. Corner, edge, tackle, linebacker, defensive tackle. To me, this makes a ton of sense for them to bring a tackle in here. I do like the need for defense, corner and edge for sure. But let's take a kind of look around here. We have two really good tackles on the board here. I'm struggling Evan Neal. Evan Neal probably needs to go to the Jets. So let's go ahead and click on you got Evan Neal up here, projected number 3. A lot of people have him go to the Giants, so they have him sliding past the Jets, which is very interesting. Only one mock has him going to the Jets. Let me actually look. I want to see if there is, if I go to the Jets, if they have a good mock kind of database here with pick 4, a consensus determined. So they have them taking Derek Stingley Jr. out of LSU here. I just want to see where he is on the board. So he is actually below number 2 corner Ahmad Gardner. And Stingley here is ranked as number 10th. They have him protected to to Washington. So this is interesting. Let me see here. The following mock drafts feature Derek Stingley Jr. being selected by the Jets at number 4. So a ton of different websites here posting Derek Stingley to number 4. You have even the Lions.com, Pro Football Focus, CBS. A lot of people here. And a lot of people like getting Ahmad Gardner later at 10. So 2 corners. Interesting. Well, let's go ahead. Let's have some fun with this. Let's grab Derek Stingley Jr., the first cornerback off the board. We got 4 straight defensive players. And the Giants are up to pick. Let's go ahead and run Evan Neal in. That one was kind of, on the wall here. Feeling good about that. And then the Panthers. What do the QB needy Carolina Panthers do? You can see their team needs QB, tackle, corner, safety, center. Tackle does make a lot of sense. Tackle makes a lot of sense. And then it's, do they love Kenny Pickett? Let's go ahead. I really like this website, guys, NFLmockdraftdatabase.com. Let's go ahead and look at the Carolina Panthers here to see what we're working with. So the consensus is Kenny Pickett. You got the Huddle, CBS, Pro Football Network, Sports Illustrated, Walter Football, Barstools, again, Sports Illustrated. A lot of people have this going on here. So I think I'm going to do it as well. Kenny Pickett makes the most sense. I think if I had to offer an alternate, I mean, drafting a tackle here makes a lot of sense. I don't know when the Panthers pick again. It looks like not until much, much later. When do the Panthers pick next? Not till round 4. So, I mean, just getting Kenny Pickett, probably makes the most sense here. So let's go ahead and get Kenny Pickett off the board. And Pickett is a little bit low. He's down here. So if the Panthers could trade out, I think that's wise. But you do see the Falcons and the Seahawks are right here. So I think if they want their quarterback, they have to take him here. Otherwise, offensive tackle. But let's go ahead. Let's get Kenny Pickett off the board. And we'll move it to the New York Giants. What an exciting New York draft. They have 4 of the top 10 picks. Let's actually go look at the New York Giants team needs here. They had him taking Ikem Okwangu out of NC State here with their first pick, and then George Karlaftis, the edge rusher from Purdue. So very, very interesting. I see Ahmad Gardner, Kayvon Thibodeau might be the pick here. Ahmad Gardner, that's probably where we're going to look because we did give them Evan Neal. Maybe we give them best defensive player available. That's Thibodeau or Gardner. Real curious. Let's look at that Giants depth chart. If we can eyeball a corner or a edge rusher, maybe we'll have a better feeling here. Ojulari, Roche, Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence. I love Dexter Lawrence. But James Bradbury, Adoree Jackson, some nice players here, but nothing I love. So I think getting these guys, again, this site's, they're giving him Ekwonu from NC State, which we already gave them Evan Neal. So we got the tackle in there. And then George Karlaftis, edge rusher out of Purdue. Let me actually see what we got here. So he's down a little bit, down here at 16. So maybe the Giants look to trade out for a team. Maybe a team try to get Malik Willis ahead of the Falcons and the Seahawks. I think that's totally viable. But let's go ahead and get Kayvon Thibodeau off the board here, edge rusher for the Giants. The Giants they're going to be a competitive defense. I think they need some more help. But man, that defensive line with Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, they're a couple pieces away from being a really solid defense. So now we get to the Atlanta Falcons, who don't have any wide receivers or a quarterback or much else for that matter. They actually had Kyle Hamilton as one of the top consensus picks there. Not happening in our mock. There's Malik Willis. There's Garrett Wilson, Trayvon Walker. You see these guys are the latest first-round mocks here. Jermaine Johnson, edge rusher from Florida State. Malik Willis showing up again. Treylon Burks. I'm not really feeling these. For now, I think if we're looking at this, man, the Falcons, they do need a quarterback, wide receiver, running back, safety, linebacker, edge. When do the Falcons pick next? Round 2? Maybe we can look at wide receiver round 2. I think taking a Malik Willis here does make a lot of sense. I'm not sure if they've done their due diligence here, but you see the Falcons wire. They're mocking Malik Willis here. There was another one down here. Again, the Falcons wire Matt Urban. This was in February, and then Matt Urban doubles down. The Falcons wire just yesterday doubles down with Malik Willis. So let's go ahead and get the second quarterback off the board, Malik Willis. And then Seattle. What do you do if you're Seattle? You just missed out on Kenny Pickett. You just missed out on Malik Willis, and now we have a lot of questions because I do think before the draft, like we got to imagine Baker Mayfield's going to go somewhere. So Seattle could be in the market for Malik Willis. They could be in the market for Kenny Pickett. I have a feeling they're not going to get both. But here you go. You see Malik Willis mocked to the Seattle Seahawks. They do have 40 and 41 in round 2. I'm seeing Ahmad Gardner up here. So I like the corner pick. I like Charles Cross, offensive tackle, Mississippi State. There's Ahmad Gardner again. Arnold Ebekidi. This one kind of feels like defense. Let's look at that team needs here. QB, offensive tackle, corner, OG, edge. What do we got on the board here? Ikem Ekwonu, probably a guy here that makes a lot of sense. I do like Ahmad Gardner. Let me just take a peek here at their depth chart. I'm thinking either the tackle or Gardner for the cornerback here. Let's see what we're working with on the Seattle depth chart. So you got Artie Burns and Sidney Jones. Like corner's a big need for this team. Greg Island and Jake Curran. Some massive needs here. So this is kind of a pick your poison. You want to take the tackle. You want to take one of the best corners. Probably need to start building some run identity. So I'm going to take Ekwonu. I think it could be Gardner, but I think it's going to be fun here because look at the Jets. We're going to give them Derek Stingley, and guess what? Now they have the ability to take Ahmad Gardner. We could go offensive lineman here. Let's actually go look at the Jets' needs. And again, the Jets pick next at 35 and 38. So really fun draft this year for the Jets. And you see at pick number 10 here, you see Jermaine Johnson, Drake London, really good receiver. You see Garrett Wilson. You see Ahmad Gardner. You see Jordan Davis, another Ahmad Gardner. And again, we gave them the best corner in the draft here from LSU. Perhaps we see a little bit of fun here. And again, there's Ahmad Gardner. This is one of the consensus picks there. Derek Stingley, another one of the consensus picks here. So maybe we double down and go back-to-back corner here for the Jets. I really do like the receivers, but man, they have Corey Davis, they have Elijah Moore, Denzel Mims is still there. Let's actually take a peek at this depth chart. You see Davis, Moore, Barrios. I like the adding of Uzama and Conklin. I like receiver. I don't know if they need to reach for receiver at 10, whereas getting a cornerback, 2 starting quality corners on this team might be the way to go. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's get Ahmad Gardner off the board here. We're 10 picks in. I hope you guys are liking the video so far. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you are new. And what do we do with our Washington Commanders? Still getting used to that. It's sometimes you forget to say it, but here we go. Quarterback, guard, linebacker, safety, cornerback. A lot of team needs here. They lost a handful of people. One of the best players, one of the best guards available in free agency, Brandon Scherf. Tim Settle, defensive tackle. Kyle Allen, backup QB. Backup tight end, Ricky Steels. Landon Collins, safety. Matt Ioannidis. Ioannidis. I don't know how to say that. But either way, plenty of needs here. I like looking at what this mock draft database offers us. They gave us Malik Willis. I mean, I don't see Matt Corral going this high. I do like Matt Corral. The majority does have Malik Willis. Matt Corral, 14.7%. Kenny Pickett, other 53%. So they want us to take a quarterback here. I think if you're Washington, you definitely want a quarterback. But again, I'm not, Baker Mayfield's out there. There's a couple other pieces here that could fall in their way. You see Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, a lot of receiver needs here. They really don't have a number 2 wide receiver, do they? So this kind of makes sense. Maybe they do take the first receiver off the board. I see a lot of Kenny Pickett. I see Corral. I see Willis. Otherwise, it's a lot of it has been receiver. So maybe we have some fun here. Looking at, again, I just want to show you guys the Washington depth chart. They really don't have weapons, especially with Logan Thomas coming back from his injury. It's pretty much Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, Diami Brown, Gibson, McKissick. I think we're going to inject a really good player here. I like their tackles, their guards maybe need some help. I don't really see an interior offensive lineman worth taking this high. If they wanted to trade out, they totally could. I like Tyler Linderbaum here for sure. Is that even his name? Linderbaum. But otherwise, let's go ahead and get Garrett Wilson off the board. Let's have some fun. This is a fun mock draft. I don't know much, but I'm just going to have fun with it. First receiver off the board, Garrett Wilson. And then we're on to the Minnesota Vikings. Let's see what their team needs are. Edge, OG, corner, linebacker, receiver. So clearly we need some defensive help, maybe some offensive line help. Let me look at the Vikings depth chart, see what sticks out to me. Jefferson, Adam Thielen. Again, this site's listing receiver as their 5th biggest need. Not sure we'll worry about that maybe in a different day. But offensive line, I like Darisaw, Cleveland, Bradbury. The right side of their line could use some help here. So that kind of makes sense to me. On the defensive side of the ball, Tomlinson, Hunter, Kendricks, Hicks, Darius Smith was a good signing. Harrison Hand, Harrison Smith, Cameron Bynum, and Cameron Dancer. Probably could use some more cornerback help here. And again, that was their number 3 need, edge or corner. At the top of our board here, we do have Charles Cross, best offensive tackle. Jermaine Johnson, though, edge rusher here. And again, that was their number 1 need. They did just sign Zadarius Smith. But maybe they get a little bit of help here. Again, he's the opposite side. They really don't have anybody behind Zadarius or Daniil Hunter, so that kind of makes sense. I do like defensive end, but there's really not a quality bunch of big men. So Jordan Davis, maybe. But let's go ahead and look at our handy-dandy Minnesota Vikings draft teller here. Derek Stingley Jr., not available. You got another corner here, Elam from Florida. Trent McDuffie. A lot of corners here. David Ajabu, again, that was pre-injury. Trent McDuffie, corner. Ahmad Gardner, corner. It looks like they really, really want a corner. They really do want a cornerback. So I see Stingley, I see Gardner, I see Andrew Booth Jr., and other 50%. So what do we do with this? I mean, I'm undecided. It feels like reaching on a cornerback that high, especially as the third cornerback off the board. I like giving them an edge rusher, so let's go ahead and get them an edge rusher. They did sign Darius Smith, but they don't have a quality number 3. But otherwise, maybe Jordan Davis is the guy here. Let me actually look. So they have him kind of falling past that. I don't see anybody mocking him to the Vikings. Sports Illustrated did a couple days ago. Barstool did a couple days ago. Maybe this makes sense. They have him ranked as the 14th best player. Consensus is Minnesota at 12. I'm gonna give them the defensive lineman Jordan Davis. And then we're back to the Houston Texans. Before, remember, we had them get Kyle Hamilton, so safety. And guess what? Now they're they passed on Evan Neal. They passed on Ekam Ikwanu. They're going to get rewarded with Charles Cross. I think that's where we're going here. Let's again just take a peek here at the Houston Texans and see what we have rolling. You got Thibodeau, Evan Neal, Kyle Hamilton. So we're kind of in that edge, offensive tackle, safety mold. And let's go ahead and look here. Jermaine Johnson, edge rusher, could be a lot of fun. Here's Evan Neal, Jameson Williams, Kyle Hamilton, Jordan Davis, Trayvon Walker, Devin Lloyd, Stingley, Karlaftis. To me, it's kind of feeling like the edge rusher. Let's go ahead and get. I think we got to get Johnson off the board. Jermaine Johnson. I hope that makes sense. I'll go ahead and get. Let's build that defensive unit there in Houston, and now we get to the Baltimore Ravens. Let's see what the Ravens are in need of. So offensive tackle, interior offensive line, linebacker, edge, defensive tackle. A lot of offensive line help, it looks like, for the Ravens this draft. I like the receiving weapons. They finally got some of those. You see they had been mocking Jordan Davis. You see Tyler Linderbaum is the number 2 guy. Trevor Penning, the number 3, and a lot of other recommendations here. But Tyler Linderbaum up here, interior offensive lineman. Jordan Davis, Jermaine Johnson, Treylon Burks, another receiver. There's Ojabo, but yeah, that's pre-injury. Ojabo. It looked like they had been drafting edge. I tell you what, I think I might just Tyler Linderbaum, man. Interior offensive line. I mean, the Ravens are one of the most run-heavy teams in the league. It makes sense to plug in a big guy here, Tyree Phillips and Kevin Zeitler. What's up with Tyree Phillips here? A former 3rd-round pick. Not sure why he's not holding it down, but I like Zeitler quite a bit here. Maybe they need a center. I'm not sure. I totally see it. Maybe a right tackle even makes sense. I like Morgan Moses, but either way, we're looking at the Ravens here. And again, Linderbaum has been the number 2 consensus pick here. Don't know if I agree with it. But guess what? We're going to do it. He's down here at number 19. Let's go ahead and lock it in. And now we get to the Philadelphia Eagles. This is probably a really good trade candidate. They have 15, 16, and 19. But just for fun, I mentioned we're not going to make any trade. They need a linebacker, a corner, a safety, a defensive tackle, and a wide receiver. So anywhere on that defensive side of the ball, let's go ahead and lock that in. Let's go ahead and lock in Devin Lloyd here from Utah. And if they decide to stay put, maybe we have them grab one of the best corners available here. We have to scroll down a little bit, though. That's Trent McDuffie. Andrew Booth is down here as well. Do they need offensive linemen? It's not here listed. Corner, safety. Is there another safety on the board here that makes sense at this high? Again, this is very likely that the Eagles trade one of these, 15, 16, or 19. They're going to end up trading one of these picks. I do think a receiver makes a ton of sense for these guys. Outside of Devonta Smith, it is pretty slim. Jalen Reagor just hasn't panned out. Maybe they take a big receiver. At this point of the draft, Treylon Burks or Drake London makes a ton of sense. They did sign Zach Pascal. Quez Watkins is back, but the receiver depth is pretty weak here. Jason Kelsey, Jack Driscoll, Lane Johnson, looking at the defensive side of the ball here. They really do need some safety help, but I'm not sure I see that being of value here. It's kind of just like a best player available. So if we do look at this real quick. Offensive tackle Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson, Andre Dillard's there. They need more so guard play than anything, but there's no guards really here for them. So to me, I think it's Drake London here. You just ooze offensive potential here. You can slot him in there to your wide receiver 3. I'm gonna have some fun here and get him the big wide receiver out of USC. And then we get to the Chargers, probably one of the most fun teams coming into the year. And a lot of people say Jordan Davis. Over 23% of the people saying Jordan Davis, Trevor Penning, DeMarvin Leal, and other 63.4%. You see Penning, offensive tackle here, a lot of offensive tackle help. And the Chargers, they don't pick until 79, so they have to make sure this pick hits. Trent McDuffie, again, that was pre-free agency, though, so I kind of want to double take here because the Chargers spent a lot of money in free agency, so I just want to do my due diligence and make sure I'm not giving them any kind of repeats. But on defense, they did buy, of course, they went out and got J.C. Jackson was the big spend. They also went and got, who is their big guy that they added to the defensive line? Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack is on the team here. A lot of fun. I think it's offensive line, wanting to build this offensive line. They have Slater, they have Lindsey, but everybody else is kind of replaceable here. So let's go ahead and just lock in Charlie Cross here. Get him off the board. The New Orleans Saints on the board here, number 18. Let's take a look at what they could potentially be looking for. They do need a quarterback. Quarterback, wide receiver, corner, tight end, offensive tackle. They did just sign Traquan Smith the other day. They got Jameis Winston for a 2-year deal. Michael Thomas may be coming back. The receiver depth is Thomas, Callaway, Traquan Smith. I like Deontay Harris. After that, it's kind of yuck. Offensive line, I like Pete, I like McCoy, I like Ruiz, I like Ramczyk. Maybe they need a left tackle here. Don't know much about this James Hurst character, but looks like he's a 30-year-old former undrafted player here. So offensive lineman, offensive tackle might be the most thing here. So let's go ahead and lock in Trevor Penning to hold that down for Winston. The Eagles are back on the board here. They do need a lot of help no matter where you go. Maybe a guy like Ajabo makes sense here. I did see a lot of offensive linemen need. They do need some corner help. Again, Eagles sitting here at linebacker, corner, safety, edge needs. What did we give them? We gave them David Lloyd, wide receiver, and now it looks like they could use we'll give them the best corner. Let's go ahead and give them Trent McDuffie. If you like McDuffie, Andrew Booth, doesn't matter. I think it's pretty clear that they're going to be looking at the cornerbacks here. So now we are up to pick with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers definitely need a quarterback. They can't be feeling too good about going into the season with Mitchell Trubisky and Dwayne Haskins. You see Kenny Pickett's been one of the consensus picks here. Malik Willis, Trevor Penning, huge amount of other people recommended here. Matt Corral, kind of like that. Devontae Wyatt, defensive lineman out of Georgia. Nakobe Dean, Sam Howell, Desmond Ridder. So a lot of people seem to really like the quarterback option here. And to me, this is a preference call. I think it's Matt Corral, the next best quarterback here. So I'm going to go ahead and get Pittsburgh their next guy. Matt Corral, learn a little bit. Maybe they can take some lumps from Trubisky before they get him in there. So I like Corral as the pick. And let's go ahead and move it to the New England Patriots. What are the Patriots' needs? Corner. They did lose J.C. Jackson, Ted Karras, Jacob Johnson, and Brandon Bolden, and Chase Winovich, so they lost a lot there. Corner, receiver, linebacker, safety, defensive tackle. A lot of needs here. I'm going to go ahead and lock in Andrew Booth here because they did lose J.C. Jackson, so that just kind of makes sense to fill that fit there with the tall cornerback from Clemson. The Packers are on the clock here. I think most people, if you watch my Packer mock drafts, Chris Olave, Treylon Burks have been the top suggestions for a lot of people here. I like Nakobe Dean. I like Devontae Wyatt. I think you're going to want to wait and see what happens with that. But let's go ahead. This one's for the fans. Let's get Chris Olave to the Packers. They need wide receivers. I like Treylon Burks. I like Jameson Williams. I like them all. I love all the receivers in this spot here. We'll go to the Cardinals, pick number 23. Arizona. They need a lot of defensive help, I feel like. You see Trent McDuffie. You see Elam. You see Karlaftis here, edge rusher, and 73% other. You see Devontae Wyatt, Zion Johnson, George Karlaftis. I think I'm going to go with the edge rusher here because they really, Chandler Jones, sure. But outside of that, What does this team, have defensively here? Chandler Jones isn't even on this team anymore. My bad. Zaven Collins, JJ Watt, a lot of questions here on the defensive side of the ball. I like Byron Murphy. I love Buda Baker. Marco Wilson's not a bad cornerback either. But let's get them some pass rush here. Let's get the edge rusher out of Purdue. And then we get to the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys could maybe use another first-round receiver. Defensive tackle, edge, linebacker, safety, tight end. Let's see what the recommendations are for your America's team, Dallas Cowboys. And it's looking like Kenyon Green, interior offensive lineman, Texas A&M, Daxton Hill, Linderbaum, who's gone, and then a lot of different varying opinions here. So it gets a little difficult. Daxton Hill, Zion Johnson. These have been the recent mocks here. Kenyon Green. Let's actually go look at the Cowboys depth chart real quick. So, Cowboys, we love Trayvon Diggs. Anthony Brown, I'm not sure about. They do need some cornerback help for sure. Donovan Wilson, Jaron Kearse, not sure about Wilson. I like the linebackers. I like the edge rushers here. Maybe they could use a big defensive tackle. A lot of interesting pieces here for the Cowboys. The receivers look like Lamb, Gallup, and Washington and Schultz. I like the offense there. Again, they did lose their best guard, Lyle Collins. Maybe they look there, but otherwise the Cowboys need, again, defensive tackle, edge, linebacker, safety, tight end. Top player on the board. I think it could be fun if they take wide receiver here. You got Jameson Williams and Treylon Burks, really, really good players here. But let's go ahead and get them Kenyon Green. Saw his name linked to the Cowboys a handful of times, and now we are up to the Buffalo Bills. Corner, guard, linebacker, defensive tackle, wide receiver. What would be fun to make this Buffalo Bills team better? You got Trent McDuffie is the highlighted player, Elam, Andrew Booth Jr., and 72% other. Cornerback down here does make sense for them. He is the best rated cornerback available. We can maybe get into some Daxton Hill. Let's take a peek here at those Bills secondary players. And as we load it up, we have, of course, Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer holding down the safeties. I love that. You got Trey White holding that down. Ciaran Neal. This is looking like a cornerback pick. I'm just going to go ahead and run this in. Khair Elam, one of the two from Florida, cornerback. There you go. Buffalo, liking that pick there. And then the Tennessee Titans. Major needs corner. So they got sniped by the Buffalo Bills. Titans need a receiver. They need a linebacker. They need tackle. They need tight end. Titans need some tough players. So let's go ahead and take a peek at what they need. Nakobe Dean, linebacker. I kind of like that. Most people have them taking Nakobe Dean, Devin Lloyd, and a bunch of other picks here. Sky Moore, no way. They did just sign Robert Woods, so I don't see the first-round receiver here making sense. Treylon Burks could make sense, but he's kind of the similar build to A.J. Brown. Jameson Williams could help take the top off that offense. But, man, passing on a linebacker here, just looking at the Titans depth chart real quick. And they're starting linebackers right now. Zach Cunningham, David Long Jr., Harold Landry III. Probably a spot where we could add some good players here. The receiving group, A.J. Brown, Robert Woods, Nick Westbrook, Ikina. They definitely could use a number 3 wide receiver, but I don't think you're going to spend that here in the first. Let's go ahead and get Nakobe Dean off the board here, one of the best linebacker prospects. And then Tampa Bay. What do you do with Tampa Bay? Running back, defensive tackle, wide receiver, offensive guard, tight end. A lot of fun here. They did lose Ronald Jones. They lost Alex Kappa, Jordan Whitehead, O.J. Howard. But they were able to get Leonard Fournette back. So I don't know if I see the running back need as much. They are listing defensive tackle here. And as far as defensive tackles go, we really don't have much. Devontae Wyatt, maybe. Let me actually go ahead and look here at the Tampa Bay Bucks. Let's just see who's been linked to their name. Zion Johnson, we had him off the board. Devontae Wyatt, there he is. And then 80% other. So you see Zion Johnson, Elam, Perry, and Winfrey. First time we saw him from Oklahoma. A lot of Zion Johnson here from BC. Treylon Burks, Kenny Pickett, Elam. So this is kind of a luxury pick here. Looks like DeMarvin Leal from Texas A&M might be the guy here. I don't think I have to go down a little bit here. So let's go ahead and get them Devontae Wyatt off the board, defensive lineman from Georgia there, big boss. And now we get to the Green Bay Packers. Actually, Zion Johnson was still on the board. Am I able to undo that? Am I able to undo that? Well, either way, I wish I could have had Zion Johnson go here to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It doesn't seem like I can undo the pick. That does suck. And if I hit the restart button, I'd be nervous there. So what I'm going to do here, let's just say Tampa Bay takes Zion Johnson. They take Devontae Wyatt, whatever. It's all good. The Packers probably looking at one of these players as well. I do love Jameson Williams. I love Treylon Burks, but we did just get them Chris Olave. So Packers, let's go ahead and lock in offensive lineman here. Zion Johnson, call it a day. And Kansas City. So trading Tyreek Hill away to the Dolphins, getting pick 29, and now they have 30. A lot of fun here. We're going to lock in a receiver here. They need a big receiver. They have some speed. They have MVS. They have Mecole Hardman. They don't need Jameson Williams. They need Treylon Burks. I'm going to lock Treylon Burks in with one of these picks. And then after that, what do our Kansas City Chiefs need? Of course, corner, edge come to mind. Cornerback and edge, Kyler Gordon. Edge rusher, David Ajabu. Maybe Ajabu makes sense, a guy that they can maybe wait for a year or two. I wouldn't mind seeing them take a running back to compete with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Breece Hall would be kind of fun. We got some corners. We got Daxton Hill. They are going to be needing, I believe, a safety here, assuming Tyrann Mathieu signs somewhere soon. I don't even know if he's on their list. They have Juan Thorhill and Justin Reed. That's fine. They do need a cornerback, though. They really could use a cornerback. Chris Jones, Nandi, Kalen Sanders, Frank Clark. Linebackers could use some help at linebackers here. The Chiefs just gotta need a little bit of everything along the front. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go ahead. We got them Treylon Burks. Let's go ahead and get let's get him. This is tough. I'm going to take them Kyler Gordon. Let's get them a corner. They have a lot of fun receivers in the AFC West that they have to stop. And then the Cincinnati Bengals are up to pick here. Let's see what they need. They need corner, center, defensive tackle, offensive tackle here. We kind of just had a run of corners. As far as offensive tackles are concerned here, they could maybe take the guy here from Central Michigan. I don't really see a center worth taking at the moment right now. Let's actually look and see what they need. So they got Zion Johnson, no problem. Technically at the end of round one, let me see here. So Cincinnati at pick number 31. I don't really know here. You see Elam, you see Elam, you see Elam, Kenyon Green, Zion Johnson, Daniel Falele. A lot of offensive line help here, but they've done a good job. The Bengals have done a good job building that offensive lineup in free agency. Let's take a peek at that. They get Jonah Williams. Don't know about Carmen, but Karras, Capel, Lyle Collins. They put a lot of investments into that offensive line. Maybe we see them, I think the corner does make sense. There's some truth to them needing some corners. We see Roger here. Let's go ahead and lock in the best cornerback for these guys. So they go ahead and get their guy from Auburn, Roger McCreary. And then the Detroit Lions, shout out. Let's just get David Ajabu off the board here. Lions are in rebuild. They can afford to wait. And that's it, man. That is my draft. Just to recap real quick. Aiden Hutchinson, Trayvon Walker, Kyle Hamilton, Derek Stingley Jr., Evan Neal, Kenny Pickett to the Panthers, Kayvon Thibodeau, Malik Willis, Ekam Ikwanu to the Seattle Seahawks, Ahmad Gardner to the Jets, Garrett Wilson is the commander, Jordan Davis, Vikings, Jermaine Johnson, Tyler Linderbaum, Devin Lloyd, Drake London, Charles Cross, Trevor Penning to the Saints, Trent McDuffie to the Eagles. Just a lot of fun for the Eagles here. Matt Corral, the Steelers get their QB. Andrew Booth to the Patriots. Chris Olave, George Karlaftis to the Cardinals. Kenyon Green, the Cowboys. Khair Elam to the Buffalo Bills. Nakobe Dean to the Titans. Devontae Wyatt to the Bucks. Packers get Zion Johnson, Treylon Burks, and Kyler Gordon for the Chiefs. Roger McCreary and David Ajabu round out our mock draft. So that's going to do it. I had a lot of fun. My mouth hurts from talking. I hope you guys made it to the end and watched me ramble. If you guys like the video for sure. Subscribe. It helps us grow. And I don't know. Thank you for your time. Thank you for making it the entire video. We'll see you guys in the future videos. And have a good one. Peace.